It's the Locked On Flyers podcast for Wednesday, July 17th, your daily dose of Flyers news, analysis, and high quality content that dug into the closet for this episode.
Interesting.
You're Locked On Flyers, your daily podcast on the Philadelphia Flyers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, and thanks for making Locked On Flyers your first listen every day. I am Rachel Donner. You can find me on Twitter at @rmiriam. I'm here as always with Russ Cohen, who's on all your favorite social media apps at Sportsology. We are at Locked On Flyers on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and Twitter as well. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. This summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a booster bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone all day, all summer long. Visit fanduel.com/lockedon to get started. You can find us over on YouTube or on the SiriusXM app or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Subscribe to get our latest episode as soon as it's available here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I mentioned the closet because we're talking jerseys today, and I have a collection. And
I thought we were cleaning out our closets just as a rule.
Maybe I could use, honestly, a good.
We all could. Let's face it.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, so this is a little bit of a visual episode for those listening in your ears only. We will do our best to describe what we are talking about at every interval here. But before we dig into our favorite and least favorite Flyers jerseys, Alexei Kolosov, a bit of an update going on there. It's been reported through a Belarus hockey
.com and a reporter named Mikhail Zistlis.
Yes, that he is practicing with Dynamo Minsk in a semi-official capacity. It's
in a real practice with players with two-way contracts. The two worrisome things here is you see there's one paragraph that says, I think this is a big hint about who the main goalkeeper of the Bison who's in the upcoming season. True, Kolosov still has a valid contract with the Flyers, but there's always a possibility to terminate it if there is a desire. And then later in the article, this writer wrote, hey, let's recall what happened with Kolosov, and that was, yeah, he was on loan. That's true. And that he did mention that there were problems with him adapting in North America. And then the article says Daniel Briere denied this information. And so, look, this is Russia. This has nothing to do with the Flyers being good at it or bad at it. The Flyers have done everything the right way. It still doesn't mean he's coming here because it's Russia. That's really, bottom line is, this is what happens. And now that they've really, made those new rule changes to the KHL, remember, we said, all it says in there is that they will currently honor contracts, but it doesn't mean they have to. There's nothing binding them to. So it doesn't look good.
Yeah, I think it is very dicey here. Obviously, nothing official yet, and we'll keep track of it, but definitely will affect the Phantoms for sure and potential call-up possibilities.
Well, that's why they got that other goalie. I forget who it was, or they brought Gahagan back. That may,
yeah, they did.
What it was. They think that's what we were talking about when they brought him back. That could be why.
Yeah. Yep. Stay tuned on that. In the meantime, we are talking jerseys today. And before we dig into the specifics of the Flyers, Russ, I just wanted your take because I have a definite opinion on having the home white jersey and the road dark jersey, or vice versa. Which way do you like it and why?
I've always liked home white in every sport, and I've never understood why it has to be the other way. And I like the sports that had, I think it was maybe the NFL was maybe the first to say you could do whatever you want. It's up to the team, or maybe it was baseball. I can't remember which one. I don't know why I've always liked the white. Now, here's where I'm a hypocrite. I'm a slob. So I know if I buy the white, it's going to get messy quick. So I never buy the white anymore. I stopped buying it, even though it looks great, because after like a year, it doesn't look great. So that's the practicality of it.
Listen, that is a little bit of foreshadowing there, but I think that's 100% true. I'm going to buy the dark colored jersey because of spillage, 100%. I do like, when the AHL splits the season, where like halfway through they switch.
Yes,
And the fact is, we have enough alternates that there's enough variety. But I think honestly, they'd get more jersey sales if they split the season because people would want to have both
they
to be
would.
able to wear both. So I say split the season, but I did prefer it to your point, just about the cleanness of the white jersey on the ice. I liked that better
Yeah,
in
man,
the and
just it's unbelievable. It looks so good, especially now with the way the lighting is. With it's unbelievable.
yeah, which is a great segue to my personal favorite Flyers jersey of all time. And I'm going to try and hold these up for the camera and talk about what we're talking about here. Um, if you're over on YouTube, so we have this first one here, which I like it because it has the piping.
Right.
I like the piping here. I like it's clean. This is actually a Legion of Doom era
Yeah.
Eric
A
Ross
Lindros jersey.
jersey.
Yeah.
Totally clean, and it has the piping, but it's the home white, and I really like it.
I would say that's probably like I'm going to say it's the second favorite of mine because I don't love the orange as much because it's not really orange. It's more like that burnt orange or burnt sienna
Right,
used to
which
be
I
like the
like the
crayon.
burnt orange.
Okay. But I like it. I didn't like it when they were beating the Rangers. And I was watching that, but I like it. And that's the one I
Yeah.
would say it's like my second favorite.
Yeah, and you can't really tell in this camera shot, but there is schmutz on it because I got some I spilled something on it. So, but that is from back in the day. But do you have a favorite one that's not that?
Yeah. So, I'm looking through all of them and it doesn't say what year. I'm going to say it's in the Couturier era. I'm going to say it was probably around 2017, 2017, 2018, because it's just more of the regular orange. So the white and orange more than the orange and, white and black. And it doesn't have all the
Interesting.
same piping, but it has the black piping in the back. And I like that. I think that stands
Yeah,
out
with the
because,
stripes.
yeah, that's the
Yeah,
one I like.
I'm not like too focused on the stripes. I think like whatever happens on the sleeves is fine.
Yeah.
I do like fewer stripes at the bottom of the jersey, and that had that.
Yeah, this is an
But
Adidas one. So this is probably the first year of Adidas.
right.
And I like that.
And one of the things that I like about the whites on that is the reverse out nameplate, where you
Yeah.
have the black nameplate and white lettering.
And that's
It's very
great.
crisp.
It's great. It's great to look
Yeah.
at. And also, like I said, the collar is interesting because it's white and then black in the back. And that kind of stands out a
Right.
little too. So I like
Right.
that one.
Yeah, I would say my second favorite is the original Stanley Cup era jerseys from the early 70s because it doesn't have the piping there, but what the innovation was there from the original Flyers jerseys is that they added the number outlining, and it just
Right.
made such a difference that there was originally no outlines on the numbers, so you had like a white number on an orange jersey, and that just didn't work. You needed that black outlining there. I wish to God I had one. I do not,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, I don't have that in my collection. But I think that that was super clean. And I think that's one of the reasons why the Flyers jerseys look has been so classic and that it doesn't really need to change much. And that
No,
era
I mean,
set the tone, right?
it's a great logo. There's not reason to change a lot. That's why I think the one you said, that era Stanley Cup one, which certainly I was watching as a young fan, I would say is third, and I would say, the Lindros is second. Those would be my top three. And then, I know which ones I hate.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that a little bit later. But I do have several of the specialty jerseys for specific events, and that's why I've bought them. And of course,
Right.
I only have jerseys that I like, right? I don't
Right.
have the ones
Yeah, you
that I
wouldn't, of
don't
course.
like.
No. So let's see
But
what else
one
you
of the
got.
things, yeah, so I've got this 2010 Winter Classic jersey.
Yeah,
And the
that was the
thing I
one.
like about it is the extra
Yeah.
chevron. You have the orange and the black, so the point that it comes to is so sharp. I really, really like that.
And what is that? The Fenway one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the best logos, as you know, or people don't know. I wrote a book on the Winter Classic. You can go buy it; it's on Amazon. But all of the logos, that's one of the best logos from the Winter Classic, period,
Yeah.
because it was Fenway.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah. It has the little Fenway logo
yeah,
there.
it's
This is
great look.
a Mike Richards
Yeah,
jersey
it's a great look.
since he was captain of the team at that time. But there's more. I got more in the pile we can talk about, as well as some of our flops. We're going to do that. And we'll get to your mailbag questions later in the show as well.
I love sports. I love them so much, I never want them to stop. And now we're in full swing for summer sports like baseball. We absolutely miss hockey, but FanDuel lets me keep sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel's hooking up all customers with a booster or bonus daily. That's right, there's something for everyone every day, all summer long. FanDuel has odds for Major League Baseball, the Paris games, with over-unders on medal counts by country, soccer, and so much more. So head over to fanduel.com/locked on and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball.
All right, on tomorrow's show, we are going to look at the Flyers Hall of Fame, not the Hockey Hall of Fame, but the Flyers Hall of Fame, and talk about who we'd like to see inducted into that coming up this season and down the road. Should be a fun conversation. Looking at some more of my personal jersey collection and stuff that I like. The next one I have is is also from 2012. Okay, but it's not the Winter Classic jersey, which I also have, which will be next. But this was from the Mark Howe retirement night.
Oh,
So
yeah.
this is a game worn jersey. So this is
That's nice.
actually what it looks like here. And I just love again the double chevron with the black and white in the
It's got a good look.
V-neck.
It's not in my favorites, but I like the look on the V-neck. Whose
A
jersey
really
is
good
it?
look. This is autographed Wayne Simmons.
Nice.
I love Wayne Simmons. He is one of my favorites. And I like the bottom with I like the piping up top, but at the bottom for the stripes, I like no piping. I don't know if that's weird, but
Eh,
I appreciate that.
all right.
But I love this Mark Howe
No, that's a great look. I like
tribute
that too.
patch here. And I like, again, really good contrast on the
Yeah.
back with the white block, black lettering
Yeah.
for Wayne Simmons's name. So that is one of my favorites in my collection. And then we have of course, this is a very interesting jersey because this is my 2012 Winter Classic jersey.
Right.
One of the best ones ever. I love the cream color. It's magnificent. The fact that it was so loved that they turned it into a regular alternate jersey
Yeah.
means a lot. One of the interesting things, and I love like the, Winter Classic name in the back. I love the laces. I think that's really cool up front. It is a Claude Giroux jersey, but interestingly, I pre-ordered this thing. There's no C on here.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and it was this special C that was in the Keystone
Right.
that doesn't exist because Claude Giroux had not yet been named captain of the Philadelphia Flyers
Oh,
when
wow.
I ordered this jersey. So unfortunately, no C on here, even though there was one at the actual game. But this was at Citizens Bank, had a great time,
Yeah, that was a
and
fantastic between
fantastic event.
that,
But
the
this
alumni
jersey,
game was just spectacular. All of it was great. That would probably be fourth on my list. I'm partial to that whole time there. Was just tremendous. I had a chance to skate on it on the ice there. It was just unbelievable.
yeah. So the next one I have is just a 2016 jersey, and I bring this up because this is an Oscar Lindblom, again,
Right.
authentic jersey. And I love it because again, first of all, there's schmutz on it.
Yeah.
But because it's a white jersey.
So that must be the
But
first year of Adidas. That's why the one I liked was probably the second year of Adidas.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I bring it up, because it's Adidas and it doesn't have the chevron here, but it does have an accent on the collar
Right.
that has black that kind of comes from over the shoulder to part way down the neck. And then it's orange and white with
It's a
the
nice
NHL
jersey.
logo.
It's a really nice
in a
jersey.
yeah, the NHL logo is in a special piece of fabric in the
Right.
front. It's just a real classic look. Again, black background with the white name on the plate, so it's
Yeah.
very clear. Of course, giant Adidas logo in the back, but this one's got,
I'll
like,
take the
white strap
Adidas
and
logo
everything.
over the Fanatics one if it's personal, just to tell
Yeah.
you.
And then we're gonna have a bonus jersey of mine before we get to the ones we don't like.
Right.
But the 2019 Stadium Series. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the 2017 or 19 Stadium Series jerseys in general. I think there's something to be said for them, and I know a lot of people like the black jerseys. I prefer the Lindros era black jersey to what they did for those Stadium Series
Okay.
jerseys, and especially in 2019 where it was literally just black and orange with no white on it, and the Pens jersey was black and yellow with no white on it.
Right.
So wasn't like it wasn't horrible, but I didn't love it per se, right? But what I did love more than anything, and I ran to the store to buy one, is the practice jersey. that
Yeah, the
said Philly.
practice ones were cool. I remember that.
So I do own this. I have played hockey in this jersey, so it probably stinks. But I just love
Yeah, I
the
like it.
Philly.
Yeah.
It's so clean.
I think
And
that's actually better
again,
than the regular jersey, to be honest.
it
I didn't love
was.
the
It
regular.
was. No, and that's why I bought this one. It was cheaper and it was
Yeah.
a hell of a lot better looking.
Oh,
So
that's good.
that is, I have more in my collection, but I felt like these were the most representative of what I
ones.
like and
Yeah.
of different eras, right? But I know you're probably itching to talk about some
Ones
of
that
the
I
ones
hate.
that did not do it for you.
Yeah. So Lindros era black, I did not like. Didn't
Yeah.
like them. I felt like it was kind of forced. Like it was like, all right, you already have the Legion of Doom. Now you're just trying to put them in black to accentuate that. But I didn't love the look of the jersey. The shoulder stuff, I don't like it.
I mean, I get it. They're very divisive.
Yeah.
And I think people either love them or hate them. And I really like it, again, because the piping stands out on them. The orange piping stands
Yeah, I don't like
out,
the orange
and
piping. That's my
that
problem.
is chef's kiss to me, right? And I just love the piping around the shoulders. I think, that does it for me with
Yeah.
jerseys. But I understand why some people just don't like it, because Flyers jerseys should be orange or white and nothing else. And that's how some people feel. And I think that's okay if you feel that way. Later when they did the ones that are just orange and black with the orange nameplate,
Mhm.
black lettering that had the white around the numbers, and that was an alternate jersey that the
Yeah.
Flyers had.
Oh yeah.
I just don't like that as much as having the white numbers with the orange piping around it.
Yeah, I can give you another one. The 2002 alternate looks like a golfing shirt you would wear. Like it just doesn't
Talking
even.
about the one with the silver logo?
No, this is the one that has
Ah.
all black around the collar. It looks like it's just black on the black and white for the nameplate, and it's like a split between white and orange on the arms, and then black after that. And the example I'm looking at is Simone Gagne, and I just don't like it.
Yeah,
Oh, they called them 3D at the time when they did it. So I guess they do have
Right,
accents of silver. I'm not seeing. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
not seeing it in the picture. Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, no, that is my least favorite jersey in Flyers history, like hands down, with the silver accents on the logo. I think it destroys like the simplicity.
Oh yeah, now
and
I
the
see the
beauty
silver
of the
accent. I was able to
Flyers
blow it
logo.
up. Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, that is not great. I would say for me, in second place of things I didn't like, the reverse retro. What were they doing there? I understand the idea of it, but I think with the Flyers jersey, again, with it being so classic, it's hard to do something like that and have it turn out right.
Yeah, I didn't love the reverse retro. But the one I didn't like even more, if that's still proper grammar, is the 50th anniversary with the gold. It's just awful.
Yeah, I appreciate the effort. They were trying to do something there. I don't think
Gold,
it
gold
completely
and
worked.
orange just don't go.
I know. It's like it was a swing. It was a
Yes.
swing that missed. And
Like, remember,
like I
I'm a
appreciated the
Mets fan,
swing on
right? So
that one.
I'm a Mets fan, so I'm partial to a lot of orange myself, but not with gold. It just doesn't go.
Yeah, I get it. But hopefully, fingers crossed, Fanatics gives us some good stuff. I know they're gonna take like an extra year before there's some different alternates and stuff
Right.
as they should. We'll see how they turn out. We got a glimpse at the draft, and we'll kind
Yes.
of go from there. But in the meantime, we have some of your mailbag questions to get to, and we will do that coming up next. We're driven by the search for better, but when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. One of the things I love about Indeed, it makes hiring all in one place so easy. You avoid all that busy work. Instead, you can use Indeed for the scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. And Indeed doesn't just help you hire faster. 93% of employers agree Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites, according to a recent Indeed survey. They have over 140 million qualifications and preferences every day. They have a matching engine that's constantly learning from your preferences. So the more you use Indeed, the better it gets. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at indeed.com/locked on. Just go to indeed.com/locked on right now and support Locked On Flyers by saying you heard about Indeed on the show. That's indeed.com/locked on. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. All right, now that we've finished rummaging through my closet, we are going to get to your mailbag questions. And Brendan has a good one about next season. If the Flyers don't have as good a record this upcoming season as last year, what can they accomplish to make it a positive season?
Player development, number one. Because for one thing, Carter Hart's not starting the season. Sam Erson's never started the season. So he's got to pick up the ball and go with it right away out of the gate. We don't know how he's going to do with that. So player development, also Ivan Fedotov. We just don't know. We don't know what he's going to do. So I think just in net, that could be the biggest reason why maybe they're not going to start off as well as they did last year. But if they have good player development, it's fine.
Yeah, I think, number one is to get Mitchkov up and running.
Mhm.
I think the goaltending is going to be the second thing on my list, making sure that's squared away, as we talked about earlier in the show. But I think player development as a whole, Matvey Mitchkov is on the top of that list as far as player development goes. And then kind of third on the list is, getting the defensive core and pecking order going to make sure that the right prospects are getting ice time. Speaking of defensemen, there's a couple about, we talked about our depth defensemen on the show
Mhm.
very recently. Andrew Fawcett writes in, given what the price was to bring Drysdale in, he will forever be linked to Gauthier and whatever his production turns out to be. Yes, it's obvious, but I hope he turns out into an exceptional defenseman, but more importantly, he stays healthy. What do you think about that? He's inextricably tied to Gauthier for the rest of his career.
Well, I think in fans' minds, there's going to be some of that, but that wasn't the price. I just want to kind of point out, like, the Flyers had to move Gauthier. It wasn't like Anaheim said, well, it's Gauthier or no deal. No, it wasn't like that. Like, the Flyers just had to move Gauthier, so they tried to get the best player they could for him. So I think those terms are different, don't you?
Yeah, I think, you don't look at the trade in terms of value. Did they get good value in the trade because of the reason you just stated, right?
Right.
But I do think that Flyers fans are going to pay attention
Oh,
to
sure.
what Gauthier does simply because of that. And if Drysdale, it turns out to be injured or there's, God forbid, something happens, there's going to be just this wistfulness about it. Like, oh, what could have been here,
But that doesn't make
given the
Drysdale a lesser
circumstances.
player or not
No.
worthy of being in the trade. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's bad luck.
Yeah, totally understood. I think that makes a lot of sense. I just think it's hard not to. It's just hard not to make that
It's human nature. I
connection.
get it.
Yeah, absolutely. D. McGuireman, apologies if I'm mispronouncing that, is talking about our depth defenseman conversation. Eric Johnson isn't getting in the way. Adder, Andre, and Ginning will all get good playing time. What do you think?
Sure. And then, I don't know. Did I also win the lottery? I just don't know how that's all going to happen. We'll wait and see what happens. But it seems like, at least to start the season, that is not going to happen.
I don't think, this person is saying that either. He just is saying, they'll all get good playing time. And I think
Well, they
when
didn't
the
get
time
good playing
comes,
time. They didn't get good playing time last year. So I'll leave it there.
yeah, we'll see. This is definitely a we'll see, and that's what we
Yes.
said. I think they're more invested in Emile Andre of those three for sure. Steve Smith wanted to know, this is Adder's year to push for a spot, but if he doesn't show development, he's probably going to go. He's 26, then this is his year.
Okay. I don't disagree with the sentiment, but I disagree with that he hasn't shown development. He's shown development. The coach is the one that has to see that development that is there and has to believe in it. If the coach doesn't believe in it, it doesn't matter. But I can tell you he's developed. It's not because he hasn't developed it. It's not because the Flyers haven't developed him. It's up to the coach to play him.
Yeah, he definitely needs more playing time to prove that. 100%. I think he has. I think he's outgrown the AHL to a large degree. He could turn out to be a tweener, though. Like, honestly, I don't know yet because he hasn't gotten enough ice time for me to make that determination.
That's true.
And that's where I think, there has to be a push to play some of these guys just to know what you have. And we said that last offseason.
We did.
As well. And it proved to be the case for some guys, but not others. And so this year it has to be Adder's turn to be the some players, that get the ice time. Oh my God, Russ.
Do that.
Don't ever do that again. Don't ever do snaps again. Oh my goodness. Anyway. So our last question here, AQN 1976 was commenting on our depth chart episode. And, we were trying to differentiate between what the depth chart is and what lines would be.
Yes.
And so this, I think, is more what lines would be than depth chart, but I don't dislike it. And so that's why I wanted to bring it up here. But they have Coots centering Forrester and TK, Frost centering Tippett and Mitchkoff, Cates centering Farabee and Brink, and Lawton centering Delorier and Palin.
I actually, if Sean Couturier were back to normal, I would love these lines. No question about it, because then you've also got the only difference is, though, you know that there's no Hathaway in here. So you know that Hathaway's playing over Delorier. I mean, I have to say that, like, that's a guarantee. But other than that, I do like it. It's just Couturier can't play number one anymore. If you make that one slight change, I think it's fine, because now the only thing is, if Cates really doesn't want to play center, then give Paling the 3C. But other than that,
correct.
I like it.
Yeah, that's the other change I would make, is put Paling in at 3C and move Cates over to wing, because that's kind of what
this is good. This is good work.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's interesting because we've had the conversation of where, like, who you put with Mitchkoff, right? And I think you and I, Russ, both agreed that Frost is the ideal center for him. And that's the case here in this comment. So love that. We've debated whether Tippett should be the other forward or not, simply because of style of play. And I think, like, I go back and forth on it, to be honest. I think that in some ways, I think it'd be super dynamic. And I think Frost is the rare center that could handle both these guys on a line with him. But also, maybe you want like a Farabee there.
Yeah, Farabee would be better. See, the problem is, like, here's the dilemma. With Forster, I would want Forster with him, but sometimes he's late to set up his shot. And that's not going to
Right.
help Mitchkov because he's ready all the time.
Right. And that's why I said Farabee and not Forster.
Right. And I think that's probably right. Tippett with Mitchkov, the only thing is I don't know how that mix is going to be because sometimes Tippett does some things that are kind of odd hockey sense wise, and I don't know if that will mesh with Mitchkov. It works for him sometimes because he kind of knows what he's doing, but I don't think his line mates always know what he's doing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But yeah, this is a really good starting off point
It is.
for the Flyers, and would not be surprised to see some sort of lineup like this again, maybe with Hathaway in instead of Delorier.
Yeah, if this
Is
were
the
2
one
years
change.
ago and Mitchkov was his age now, I'd say all of it was fine,
Yeah,
and I'm the only
yeah,
one I probably would look at might be Tippett, but everything else would be fine.
yeah. Love it. Love to see it. If you've got line suggestions for the Flyers or questions you want to ask us, feel free to let us know. You can send them in by email, lockedonflyers@gmail. Let us know on Twitter @lockedonflyers or comment on our YouTube channel. That'll do it for today's show. We'll be back tomorrow with our Flyers Hall of Fame selection. Should be a good one. I am Rachel. I'm on Twitter @rmiriam. That's RMIRIAM.
I'm Russ. I'm at Sportsology, SPORTSOLOGY.
Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube that's also available on Amazon Fire TV in the free Fire TV channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering top sports stories of the day with local experts of Locked On, plus national shows covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today now available on the free Fire TV channels app. Have a great day, everyone.